In villages, towns and cities across the country, ordinary people are creating new futures for themselves, brick by brick. Community land trusts, or CLTs, are democratic, not-for-profit organisations which own, develop and look after land and assets for the benefit of their communities to meet local need. Many CLTs start with affordable housing for local people in areas where they've been priced out or left behind, making them affordable for every future occupier and keeping them in community hands forever. Sometimes it's just a few houses, or it could be hundreds or even thousands. But it's not just homes. CLTs can take on anything important to the community. Businesses like shops or pubs, communal land for meadows and wildlife, or even energy schemes. Anyone can start a CLT in their community. Many work in partnership with developers, housing associations, their local council or landowners to meet what the community wants or needs. And that's the magic of CLTs. Because the community are in control, CLTs can do things that others can't. At the Community Land Trust Network, we want to see a CLT in every area that wants one, and we want government and business to partner with them to make this a reality. CLTs are changing the country, so get stuck in.
3Cs is a new charity. We're trying to replicate the work that some of us did in Corsand Village to provide new, decent, high-quality rental houses for local people in local communities. What you see behind me are 11 small flats, currently owned by Cornwall Council, but they're unable to repair them or re-let them. We've got a deal on with them to take them on in the name of the people of Looe as a local community trust to save them indefinitely for local people to rent.
This is incredibly important for Looe. People just can't find anywhere affordable to stay. It's really an absolute emergency. So we're absolutely delighted to try and bring this actually fantastic historical building back into use.
These are clearly a really important building in the Looe townscape and also of historic interest, so we must be sensitive in how we deal with them.
We've done this exact same project in Corsand Village, just up the road. We bought 3 empty council houses there, refurbished them, and have now let them to local young people.
I was living in a 1-bedroom maisonette in Corsand at one point before I got this place, and it was like 11-month contract. And yeah, it was extortionate prices really. It was really hard to live when you're having to pay out everything towards the rent. It's the same thing as it is down here, and it is in a lot of places in Cornwall, you know. So yeah, hopefully it spreads like wildfire.
We were pregnant with Elijah, and we were sort of desperately looking for places to live. These places came available and they were perfect. Yeah, I think the 3Cs initiative could really impact Cornwall in a good way. It's, you know, it's necessary for the locals to have places that they can afford to stay in.
It's a real breath of fresh air. We struggle to do this type of project due to Cornwall Council's viability structure and the way that we work and the way that we fund stuff. So obviously you provide that niche alternative to be able to deliver and refurbish to a very, very high standard properties that we traditionally would struggle with. So yeah, bring it on, more the merrier.
If what you've heard makes you think this is for real and you want it, please put your hands in the air and say so. Thank you, fantastic.
This would be an ideal solution. The meeting today has shown that a large section of the people of Looe are in favour of it, and I imagine everybody must be. It's very positive vibes, I think.
All of us are very experienced in our specialist fields. The next stage in this process is a feasibility study. Engineers, architects, surveys, solicitors and legal matters. It's expensive and it's slow. £72,000 is our estimate for it. We've already got council money for this project. Cornwall Council and the Town Council have offered £50,000 between them, which is fantastic. We're very pleased to say that we've now been awarded the money we need to fill the rest of the budget so we can go ahead with the feasibility study. It's a wonderful opportunity. It's really, truly exciting to be involved in this. We're looking forward to it enormously.
It's 23 minutes past 7. You won't find many homes priced at less than 10 pence anywhere in the UK, particularly not a holiday hotspot such as Cornwall.
So we're talking about a set of 11 historic flats in the town of Looe, which has been sold off for £1 to a charity, which will then refurbish them to provide accommodation for local residents.
Our South West England correspondent Jenny Kumar has been taking a look around.
Looe, a stunning coastal town with lots of holiday homes. But it's also at the helm of a new social housing project. These old cottages are council flats and need millions of pounds of repairs. Valued at more than £600,000, locals feared they'd be sold off to a private developer. But a local charity is buying them for a song. This is one of the Coast Guard flats. And as you come in on the right, there's a living room which has lovely views overlooking Looe. On the left, there's a kitchen. There's also a bathroom, a couple of bedrooms, all of this plus 10 other flats bought for just £1.
So this is the main bedroom.
So you got this and 10 other cottages for £1.
We did, but we've taken on a huge commitment in reality. We've taken on at least £1.5 million worth of commitment. You can see the state of them. There's a lot of work. The structure's basically sound, but we are going to pour money into these to make them into good houses.
The council says it can't afford to refurbish these flats. This project can because it can access funding the authority can't.
These are typically going to be for young people moving away from home for the first time, but they get to stay in the town. This is the bar staff, the cleaners, the care workers who are normally having to leave because there's nowhere to live.
This small town has 265 second homes. 240 households are on the social housing waiting list. Many locals can't afford to buy or rent here, including Paul.
It's next to impossible on my salary, yeah.
A tattoo artist in his late 30s. He's lived with his parents since splitting up with his ex years ago.
I think it's abhorrent that it's such a hard task to find a house in the town that you grew up in. I think that there's this gutting communities, it's terrible.
Tenants living in these old cottages share similar concerns.
There's no community spirit here anymore. You know, it used to be years ago. You go up the street, you don't see anybody that you actually know. They're all visitors.
Anne and Christine are glad these flats will be kept for local people. The Housing Trust took on a similar project here in the village of Corsands. They bought 3 council-owned Coast Guard cottages and renovated them. 2 years ago, Rosie was desperately searching for somewhere to live. She was 8 months pregnant with Elijah and facing eviction when the opportunity to rent here came up.
It's amazing here and everyone who's local loves it, but it's, I think 60% of it is housing for holiday homeowners, so it's kind of just not available to locals. Yeah, when this came up, it was perfect. We're really lucky to live here.
Many hope the success here can be replicated far and wide to help those in housing need. Jenny Kumar, BBC News, Corsands.
The very first community land trust got established during the 1960s as part of the civil rights movement in Albany, Georgia, and it was really over and a response to sharecropping. Understanding that for the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee to go down and organize people to vote, the reaction to that from landowners that sharecroppers were working for was to evict them from the property, so they and their families had no way to earn a living and became nomadic and often had to migrate north in order to gain some viable means to support themselves. So the response was, how can we come up with a way for Black tenant farmers in the South to own land? A group of folks, including 2 cousins of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., ended up going to Israel and studying their communal farm operations in Israel. They came back and created what we use today as the community land trust model, saying not one single owner of land, but a collective ownership of land and an agreement about what the use of that land is. We've translated that into modern community land trust home ownership by separating ownership of the land, giving that to a nonprofit entity that is predominantly community controlled by a board of directors, and then selling the actual home and mortgaging that home and having a long-term land lease govern the relationship between the homeowner and the land trust.